Dude, why? Why did they do that?
Well, because people who don't drink sugary sodas need their Baja Blast too.
Oh man, just like
I don't drink Mountain Dew like ever, but that's actually pretty good. So I usually stick to Dr. Pepper. But
this one guy, he just fucking drinks the goddamn Kool-Aid.
we are live, so don't bite yourself in the ass there, Mike.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Gonna get kicked off this show.
Come on, Dakota.
Yeah, look, I was
delete your account.
Man, last time, it didn't end good for any of us, right?
Where's Brett at? Where's Tyler at?
That's a really good question. They're probably just hee-hawing. I figured Tyler would want to be in on this one, just considering what the beast banging was. But
I know,
it's his boy. But if he misses it, he misses it. But we do have TM2DB in the chat and Ghost Lord Peter in the chat. So
Peter getting the show.
Shout out to them. Yeah. I am Primal Sabbath. You can find me everywhere at Primal Sabbath. Dalton, where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere at Daltonians TFs or Daltonia95 on YouTube.
Oh, you finally changed it?
Not on Twitter or everywhere else. It's still TFs.
I was gonna say, man, you really strayed from the path from TFs to 95. Candace, where can people find you at?
You can find me at either Canned Ice Santora or Candace Santora. Just search. Do legwork, people. Search.
Damn.
There you go.
So starting to sound like Joe. You can find me here.
Tell them Tell them to put in the work. I like that.
No, she needs a brand as one thing and be done with it. Like I did.
Doesn't matter.
I'm still owed 20% of the Angry Mike profit fund, correct?
Yeah. Keep telling yourself that.
20% every time he brings up a certain name.
Yeah, that's definitely. That's but that's part of the that's part of the naming package. That's just my services rendered unto you. So Mike, where can people find you at?
Making kitchen noises.
Mm-hmm. What's Sarah cooking tonight?
Chili.
Ooh.
Oh, with or without the beans?
With.
Oh, gross.
That's
Oh no, I've never liked beans, dude. Never.
We were just talking about how you do not like beans. He was telling me when he goes Taco Bell, it's like everything he gets, no beans, and what else was it? No beans and
no sour cream and no tomatoes.
And no guacamole.
Well,
yeah, I'm like, and that's another thing. I'm not a big guacamole eater, but like I love avocado and sushi. And like I don't like tomatoes, but I love ketchup and making marinara sauce, like things that tomatoes make. I thoroughly enjoy. I just don't like tomatoes themselves. It's like
don't care where they come from.
They're just a really weird tasting water. That's all they are. It's just really weird tasting water.
Because you sound like people who don't like watermelon.
Yeah,
I don't like watermelon.
I do.
You
know, if like you gotta like pour some sugar packets on it, but I do like me some watermelon.
Mike doesn't like watermelon, but he likes watermelon flavor.
Really?
I don't like watermelon flavor.
Just a lot of people like watermelon flavor and hate the actual fruit. Like it's such a difference in flavor.
That's strange.
That's like people.
Really now I'm kind of the opposite, man. I don't like watermelon flavored stuff.
No, because it's completely artificial.
Yeah. So it's kind of strange. So, banana lamps. Where can people find you at?
Ironically, I don't like bananas, but I like the taste of banana and other things.
Oh, so you like the banana Laffy Taffy, don't you?
I like banana bread. And I like banana flavored stuff, but I don't like bananas themselves.
See, again, I'm the opposite. I will eat bananas, but I will not eat banana flavored stuff.
I get scared of bananas because you never know if there's a big spider in them.
I was going to ask if it was because it looks like a large yellow penis, but
no,
Spiders definitely make them equally fearful for me now. So now I don't like bananas anymore.
Way to go, Mike.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
It's all right. I mean, it's not like I was actively like healthily eating bananas anyways. So
Come on, man. You need your
Like-
serotonin and your potassium.
now what I'll do, yeah, you can get those from like a chalky pill. But what I will do is like apples and apple juice. Love some apples and apple juice and like
Yeah.
applesauce, like apple everything. Apples are delicious.
Apple
like
pie.
apples.
It's
I'm the
nature's
same way
ball of
with grape.
sugar.
Green
I like natural grapes, but I also like grape soda, grape drink, grape Kool-Aid.
You can't go wrong with great drink.
Exactly.
Grape.
Yeah, great
What about Blue Chew?
Guava's another one.
I thought it was Chew Blue. Or is it
Either
Blue?
way.
No, it's Chew Blue.
What the fuck is that?
So, Dalton, did you get anything in the mail this week?
I did. I got 3 things in the mail this week. I've got the Generation Select C-Wing, still a beast. Generation Select Nautilator, and I got the Transform Element Mice Warriors.
Nice.
All right.
A singular figure with a plural name. Weird.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird too. I was like, they intend this thing to be a troop builder, or like maybe they're not familiar with Rattrap. They're like, oh, he was in the show. Let's make him.
Maybe it's just bad translation.
Mike,
Like,
did you get anything
Captain
this
Banana.
week?
I got also Sea-Wing and Lobclaw. Whatever.
Lobclaw, according to the box.
Yeah, are they different names? That's actually all I got, and I'm really happy with them.
Oh, well, that's good. You know, as long as you're able to fill the empty void.
Well, hey,
Got through
he
nowadays.
should just be happy, Mike, today, since he's finally enjoying something.
I always
Never
enjoy
last.
stuff except talking to you.
Oh,
Love you too.
what a pee head. Candace, did you get anything this week?
I got
Goodwill.
nothing.
Bummer.
Yeah,
Tyler,
I
did
know.
you get anything in the mail this week?
I did. I got the amazing
War
Yamaguchi War Machine.
Nice.
Very
It's
good.
really good. Yeah, I'm gonna customize it to be the Punisher War Machine, but it's really good.
I'm surprised they didn't make one like on their own. You know.
It might still be coming.
So then would you feel bad if you customized yours then?
Maybe. Now I don't know if I want to customize it.
Yeah.
I just wait.
Yeah, play the waiting game.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
What else did I got? I think that's it. Oh, I got the Insecticon from Brother Kyle. BK hooked me up nice.
Very good.
Getting those
Yeah, you really did.
big kid meal toys, huh?
Yeah, Burger King. Burger King
Yeah.
hooked you up pretty nice.
Jesus Christ. Dalton, why are you not a rapper?
Huh?
If you
Speaking
can
of
make your
BK,
fucking
Brother
Dalton
Kyle in the
Dalton
chat.
rhyme,
Also, Leonardo11 in the chat. Thank you all for asking what I got this week. I got I got a Takara Dinobot that is a variant to the one that I had. It uses the Kenner tooling, the Kenner Dinobot tooling instead of the Kenner Grimlock tooling. So had to have it. It was a variant of my favorite character. And big shout out to Joe. He found that one for me. He also found for me, and I got it in the mail with it, the Green Eyes Depth Charge, the ever elusive Green Eyes Depth Charge.
Oh.
Finally caved, huh?
Caved. I've been looking for it, but I mean, I finally got it.
When was the last time that you said you weren't?
Oh yeah, that was a year ago, and things changed like a week after I said that. I was like, yeah, I want it. I also got Transart Toys Strange Friend. I got that in the mail. Yeah, mine came with a battery, so
Yes.
yeah, there was that. It's got the weak pistons, but I did figure out a way to strengthen them up so it doesn't like always slouch over. The trade-off is like the pistons don't go all the way down, but like I don't need them to either. It's just I just need it to stay in there, look good.
Looks strange.
I also got 3 volcano balls for my Beast Wars volcano playset. I still need one to make it like complete, but I'm also kind of okay if it's just 7 of them. And I found out that the motor in that playset was burned out. So
Oh,
yeah, also because I'm a bit of a handyman, I found, like I took it apart and I looked at the motor, and on really tiny letters, it's like the company that made the motor. So I just gave that the old Google, and it took me to an Amazon link where those motors are available. So I picked one of those motors up, and I think it actually may have a stronger RPMs than the one that came in the playset had. So unfortunately, it's not like an essential thing or whatever. Amazon's like taking the slow route to get it out. I should have it first week of May, and I can't wait so I can actually get my Volcano playset to work. But yeah, so there was that. That was kind of unfortunate there. But at least there's a way to make it work again.
yeah.
All right, are you done? Passive aggressive Sabbath.
Mm,
Did you get anything else?
I got to take a look at the transform element, Mice Warriors, and we'll talk about that later. I got Tyler's Metals Megatron from Toy World, the Toy World Transmetal Megatron, and it is the Takara Metals color one. So I got that.
you can review it for sure, but I think I want to buy the Kenner colors one because that was the show. I don't like the purple.
Well, it
So,
depends on the scene. Like, I mean, he really did appear in both colors, in my opinion.
I'll have to go back and watch, but I don't know, man. I was like, when you sent the picture, I was like, fuck. I was so looking forward to like the Kenner one because like when I was growing up, man, I had the original toy and like in my mind, the original toy was right off the screen.
No, I think that's what the problem is you're just going based off of your nostalgia.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just like how everyone said that Transart Transmutate was too tall, and we all know Transart Transmutate wasn't too tall. She was perfectly scaled.
Scale.
In my mind, Transmetal Megatron is gold and not purple. But it's fine. I'm sure. Like, I'm interested to see a review on it eventually because, like, I feel like it's going to be a nice toy. And before we like move on, I feel like there's a topic of discussion right here about Toy World doing all these different 4 variants of the same figure for whatever reason.
Yeah, the Grimlock, the weathered Grimlock, the toy Megatron, the anime Megatron. Was there another one?
No, I think that's it. I think it was 4.
Unless they do Predacon.
So let's talk about Toy World for a second. Because let's look at their track record. They did 11 Devastators? They repainted
oh my god
shit out of that. Am I right? You got a black one. You got a shattered glass one, the yellow one, right? The G2 one.
The orange one.
All of those ones were weathered. You had a clear one. You had a clear black one. You had like
cell shaded one.
The cell shaded one. You had so many different variants, right? And I'm so curious how they're able to do that, but not go under from making so many different variants of different toys because of all the runs that they'd have to do, right? And because they do it consistently. Look at their Bulldog and how many variants of that came out, and the Starscream that they were putting out. How many variants they're coming out with that? And now this Megatron.
And the Bumblebee.
And the Bumblebee, right? So I'm curious.
See, I don't keep up with them. I don't keep up with them enough to know that they were actually doing all this, but that's ridiculous. Like that's absurd.
I agree, but in a sense, I'm also kind of like, that's kind of rad that they're giving fans so many options because it kind of almost proves that it's not very costly to do that. Or maybe it does cost a whole lot and the person that runs Toy World is just swimming in yen. But like, I don't believe so. I personally don't know. But like, if it's so easy to give you so many options as fans, how come we don't see other companies doing it, giving you more options so you can decide which one you like better instead of making you stick to a certain aesthetic?
Because I think that's asinine. Like, as someone who typically does like choices, I think it's absurd for a company to like right out the gate have like 5 to 9 repaints of this one thing. Like I know, to me, that's just not a very sound business decision. I don't know if Toy World owns their own factory. If that's the case, maybe that's how they're able to do it. But like to me, I think on the return end, I just don't see that being feasible. I know, like, if I was in the retail game and I was like, trying to sell this stuff for a living, there's no way I would even bother with anything from Toy World, because then like you gotta be like, well, what are people gonna want the most? Are they gonna want this version, this version, this version, or this version? And 9 times out of 10, you could probably just be like, well, whatever's closest to the show accuracy is gonna be the one people are gonna go with. Like,
right, and like I know them doing it is crazy, but the fact that they can do it and still be a company and still be around and make more figures for people, I think that kind of says something. Because
I think it says they're not. I think it says they don't have a profit margin.
Well, maybe, but you'd think they'd have to in order to make so many different variants.
Well, there's a lot of these dudes just do it for the love of it,
I mean, I don't got
You don't
10
start-
fucking K for a single mold for the love of it. Personally.
Yeah, I mean, I relate with you, but it's a different beast over there in China. Like they want this stuff as bad as we want this stuff, and for them it's just like, all right, well, we'll just make it. Like, we got everything here to make it with. Then it's like the dude that owns KFC and X-Transbot. It's like that guy confirmed has his own factory, and he's just like running off Tupperware and shit, and he's just like, I want some Transformers. So here's this.
TM2DB in the chat says there's 1.4 billion Chinese people, 350 million Americans, and 35 million Canadians. It's 37, thanks. They can outsell us 3-1 and not have enough for everyone. And I believe that's true. I feel like a lot of the time when we have these discussions, we don't consider the overseas market, unless we're talking about Masterpiece, because we don't want to lose that argument. But like, maybe Toy World.
Well, we're also arguing a Japanese market versus a Chinese market at that point too. So
I guess so.
I
don't know. I think it's interesting because these guys, like Toy, either they're very foolish by coming out with all these different variants, or they know something that the rest of us don't, and they're able to give us all these different variants very cost effectively, all at the same time, for options for the fans and the consumers, whereas other companies don't do that. And I'm curious as to why. But
I think it's going to be one of those deals where it's just like no one's ever going to know, just because it's, just the secrecy of all of it, right?
That's true.
That stuff, I guess.
I need to get Bob.
But it is. It's strange.
I need to get Bob on the job. I'll hit up Skullface and see if he can do some digging.
Put Bob on the job. Does he even give a shit about Transformers anymore?
Fuck, I don't know.
Anyway, well, I mean, it is what it is. Hey, we got a beast banging this week.
Woo!
So, Tyler, this one is going to be one like just gonna, I guess, let you run with it. Cybershark, do.
This is hands down. This is my favorite Beast Wars toy. Like, maybe just of the deluxe variety, but like, this is one of the figures that I look back on most fondly as a kid, and it was one of my most, like, I paid, I think it was $75 or $80 new in box, just so I could have a Cybershark that was perfect, and I could take it out and put it on display on my shelf, and I knew it was complete, and I don't look back. Like, I could have gotten it for $20 loose,
Well, like I was gonna say, like now you're paying like $70 loose, and like just to show, like this one, missing a little bit of paint here on this eye. Guess that's just one of those wear and tear parts. But like I think I paid $40 for this one a year or two ago, and like, oh dude, I was not about that price. Although, like, I'm not saying it's not worth it, because I think it is. Like you said, it's one of the cooler deluxe figures that definitely, obviously that wasn't in the show. But you could have gotten this from Kenner or Takara. They would have been the exact same, I'm pretty sure. It's one of those ones. I don't think there were any variant differences between the two. So, the Hammerhead Shark.
Let me paint a picture for you. I like this mold so much that before I even found out about the show, I knew there was Japanese Transformers. And before I found out or watched the show even, I went and bought myself a Sharp Edge and a Hellscream just to go with this guy because of how much I love this mold, how cool it looks. With the accessories and that, like, the head's coming. Like, my Sharp Edge, I have him using his head as like a sword and the tail switchblade and the other. Like, these guys got like this straight out of the Deep Sea mixtape vibe going on my shelf. Like, they look so good together.
So that's where, like, just getting into the robot mode here.
And that's how I display the fins too. I flip them up like fucking devil horns on the back.
That's the only way to do it. They move for a reason, and that's the reason. So for this guy to be a maximal is, in my opinion, kind of surprising. Like, look, this face does not scream a maximal face. Like, honestly, Sharp Edges doesn't either. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a very just kind of evil looking head sculpt, but like,
I don't know
for
if it's
sure,
evil, but it's like a no bullshit. It's not like a sensitive maximal head.
This doesn't look like a good guy. This like an anti-hero maybe, but like even then, like this guy looks like this dude looks like he fucking pulls toenails off of his victims before he kills them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Rips the fins off.
Yeah. But you get full
picture
storage, which is something, you guys know how I am about weapon storage. This is everything stored on them. You can't see the tail. It's folded back up behind. But there you go. You can see it that way. But there's just so much, like, I guess, play option. And this is a character that I think would have benefited from the show and being in the show rather. And just the creativity that the show creators had. Because, like, you get to, like, flip this up and it's on a trigger and it can launch this hammerhead, right? They can do that. You get the switchblade, this thing. It's not a gun, but it's not a sword. I don't know what it is, but it's not, like, it's wild. And, like, honestly, for Sharp Edge, I'm undersling this weapon.
Yep.
Where I have, I put it up top for for Cybershark here.
I undersling both of them personally, just because I think it looks cooler. But so this is actually the only character from Beast Wars that I've commissioned artists to draw for me. I got one from Bobby Skullface, which I posted on the Stasis Lock page months and months ago. But he did a really cool piece for me. And Oscar Alonso from Shattercast Uncut is currently working on a little something for me. And like Cybershark, I think Cybershark is the Beast Wars character that I'm going to get as a tattoo, because he just like represents what I love about this series the most. And it's just like cool fucking like animal sculpts and cool robot modes, and just like, I don't know, man. I can't say enough good shit about this figure and about this character. And interestingly enough, like, the character Cybershark he's like supposed to be like a pirate bounty hunter, which just it blows my mind. Like, it makes sense for the shark teeth, I guess.
I like the bounty hunter aspect because I guess it just kind of reminds me a little bit of Depth Charge too, even though like Depth Charge isn't a bounty hunter per se. He's like a peace marshal, but I mean, they still do bounty hunter-ish kind of shit. But I always felt like that's something we just didn't get a whole lot of out of Beast Wars, was like bounty hunters. We've gotten it in like animated and Prime and the movies, and we got it in G1 and stuff like that, but we never got that aspect of it in Beast Wars.
No, I agree. I feel like his character should have been utilized a lot more than it was, because like,
what's also cool is he's a giant basic. He's just an upscaled basic class flip former without the springs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I mean, we've talked about it before, but it's just an awesome design concept. He didn't need to be overly designed just to still look cool,
Watch him be the next one that JX does after Tiger Hawk.
Oh no, it's got to be Dinobot. I want these companies to do show characters. If they want to go to non-show characters after they finish show characters, I will indulge them for sure. But like not before. You know what I mean? But anyways, you can have him hold his hammerhead launching accessory as like I guess an axe. I think of it as an axe. I don't know if anyone else thinks of it as an axe. I definitely think of it as an axe.
I treat it as a hammer because it's a hammerhead. So it's just
That's
a giant steel sharky.
I just think like these could be like sharp, you know? I don't know.
Do it before you leave the ledge.
He can hold both of them if you want him to. So there's that. And he comes with missiles. Like this dude's loaded to the nines, and you can stick a missile in this like cannon chest that he has. Like again,
And
dude, I just think they could have done
sculpted with shark heads on them too.
Yeah, they got little shark heads on them. Like I think the showrunners could have done such an awesome story with this guy. But he can also wield these things
for the win.
like Silverbolt, you know what I mean? Like
Clubs.
I guess if he wanted to, he could throw them as missiles, or he could beat someone over the head with them like they're clubs. I don't know, but like you have like all these different options for this guy, and it's an awesome figure, and I think he's got the best head sculpt out of Sharp Edge and Hellscream. I think Cybershark just has the best standard head sculpt, in my opinion.
Brother Kyle, I think, is a Starscream character. Brother Kyle, you should chase down the Hellscream if you haven't already, because that is technically Starscream.
Yeah, it is Beast Wars second Starscream after he got reformatted, and he has like so instead of like a left arm, that one has like the tail comes off and plugs in to be this big gun arm. It's ridiculous.
It's so cool.
Pure ridiculousness. But
If
what
you can't find a Hellscream, just get an Overbite.
No, they're not the same. Overbite is less. It's like supposed to be the same, but it's less paint apps, and it's got that giant fucking stupid Decepticon symbol on it.
Well, you know how you can take that big stupid Decepticon symbol off? A little bit of rubbing alcohol.
Actually, I found something over the weekend. I was doing some customizing. You guys know that green top Tamiya liquid cement that I talked a whole bunch of shit about? The extra thin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So if you just get some of that, it will brush all of the paint off. Like I guess because it has some properties that will just melt paint. Like because I had something, dude. I left these pieces soaking in 91% rubbing alcohol for 2 straight days, and the paint still wasn't coming off. So I just took this stuff, and it comes with a little brush application, and I literally just started brushing at it with the liquid cement because it's so thin. It's not really gonna like dry up and cause like a cakey, super glue layer. But it literally like I brushed at it, stuck it underwater, and it rinsed off. The paint rinsed off. This shit's crazy good.
That is crazy.
I'm never gonna use it for actual super glue. I'm just
breaky paint.
I'm just gonna use it. I'm just gonna use it for paint removal, like from here on out.
I mean, whatever works for you.
That's what's up. Candace, did you ever have any good memories with Cybershark?
I don't have that one. No.
What?
I know. I'm sorry. I have the.
You don't have that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I know there was a time when you weren't sure what you had.
Yeah. Now, yes, I'm sure now.
That's a bummer.
I know. I'm ashamed.
Wow. What's a bot got to do for you to buy them nowadays, huh? Be voiced by Gary Chalk? I'll make a few calls, put out a few bucks, donate to a few shelters. You know what I'm saying?
It's okay, Todd.
Yeah, man. No, honestly, Cybershark. I think Cybershark will always be that one character. If I ever commission an artist, it'll be I want to see your best version of Cybershark. Because like it just embodies what I love. Like it's season 1. It's an all organic beast mode. It hides the robot perfectly, and it's a badass robot to boot. Like, fucking let's do it.
He's no Dinobot, but he is really cool. That's just
I think if this guy and Dinobot went up against each other, it would be a better fight than Primal and Dinobot, and that was a kick-ass fight.
I was gonna be like, "Are you throwing shade, or what are you doing?" At first, I thought you were.
They'd be besties.
They'd be besties for sure.
Oh, definitely. I think they would form their own faction. Like, they're just like, oh, get this maximal shit.
I agree. Call it the honor cons.
The honor cons.
Oh,
Do
God.
pirates have honor?
Cringe.
Like, I mean, I guess they have like their own pirate code of honor. I don't know.
Oh, you don't get to say cringe. That's part of your race, son.
Okay.
Anyway.
Fucking honor codes. Jesus.
Anyway, sweet figure. If you don't have it, or if you just don't have that mold, man, like I definitely recommend you go and pick it up. Like Sharp Edge is a pricey boy now too, but you know, like I don't know, Hellstrom is a pricey boy.
Well, I guess we're gonna do Sharp Edge at another time because it's technically like a remold, right?
That's a different character too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but before we get started on this super light news week, you can go check us. You can go follow us on Instagram. Whatever you do on Instagram, we're there at StasisLockPodcast. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/BeastWars. You can follow us on Twitter. We don't post anything over there at StasisLockCast. And you can always email us any questions or concerns about how you feel about this show at StasisLockPodcast@gmail.com. The sweetheart Joe is always checking that email.
And he'll get back to you eventually.
Eventually.
We're
Don't
just
forget to
slow
join
on Twitter and Instagram.
Do what?
It's not that we don't post. We're just slow over there. Facebook is our mainstay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even check the Twitter anymore. I'm just like, eh. Well, it's there for brand protection, I guess.
I think that shows our age though, because like all the kids use Twitter and the gram, and us old heads are staying on the book.
That's the thing, dude. Like more of the older fans use Twitter and Instagram than like Facebook.
Well, yeah, because that's where all the younger fans are, and that's where you got to use your sense to get all the monies from the ad revenues in the global warming.
Flat Earth, all that. So finally, join our Facebook group, the Beast Wars Society. It's a buy, sell, trade, and discussion group. Answer the questions. There's like, I think 6 or 7 people sitting right now that have not answered the questions.
Mike's like, where?
Yeah, dude.
Not for long.
Mike's like a hound dog, just hitting over that rejection button.
No, we're giving them. You have 24 hours to answer them questions. If you don't answer, ejectocito.
And sets his watch 3 hours ahead.
High noon text.
If we know you and we know, then it's a little different. But like, yeah,
there's
I don't care if I know or not. Answer the question.
A little bit of nepotism in this process, but you just gotta hope it's Tyler that's checking you.
Yeah, you gotta hope that I come across your name, because I'm not one of them power hungry admins. I just want to see people come join and touch dicks.
I just want to see people answer the fucking questions.
If you have time to hit the button, you have time to answer the fucking questions.
They're 3 very simple questions. Very simple.
Easy.
It's not like we're asking for credit card information just yet.
Yeah, we're not.
It's a fun group. It's a very active group. So you're missing out if you're being lazy about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to the news. The Ultra Gear Stasis Lock Photo Op. Bring your masterpiece cheat order pizza Robocon June 5th through 6th, 2020 in Louisville, Kentucky for an epic galloping gyroscopic gathering of the most open cheat orders in one location. We still doing this, dog. So do that, and there'll be a bunch of Ultra Gear ass cheat orders in a picture. It'll be ridiculous. Why there needs to be that many cheat orders in one location? It's because it's fun. Finally. News wrapping up just as it stops. The Stasis Lock giveaway. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you have not already, and go to our review of Transform Element Mice Warriors and tell us your favorite Rattrap moment in the comments. And that'll put you in a chance to drawing and to win this fellow right here. And shout out to Agabus for supplying those.
The comment, you will be entered to win, and we'll do the draw next Wednesday.
Oh, how do I do this now?
You don't get to do it, Mike. You're on the show.
What?
That's a good question, Mike. All Stasis Lock members, past and present, are exempt from the giveaway. So if you've been on the show once, outside of a collector interview, you are exempt from the giveaway. So don't be broke and just go buy one. Shop Agabus.
This goes for you, Micah.
Oh my god! You didn't even know the guy.
Well,
You didn't even know the guy.
I did like a handful of episodes with him. So
That is true.
y'all can throw shame.
You did one episode. You did one episode.
No. I did probably about 5 with him.
No.
Yeah, you need to go back and check. Go back and check.
I'm not going back 180 episodes.
Hey, trust me. I did.
Broke
Hey,
Tyler.
I'll tell you what, I did enough episodes with the Closet Boy hide from his wife.
Oh
Fucking-
man,
Just broke Tyler.
I did not expect that. That was just. Whew, that was out
Those
of
were
the
different
blue, and
times.
It was
Angry
so good.
Mike
It
does
was
not
so
reflect
good.
the something of corporate stasis. I don't know.
Whatever.
But
Y'all
yeah,
were thinking it.
you again the rules. You
No,
go to
that's
the
why it's
video.
so funny. I wasn't even thinking about Micah. I thought he was dead.
You subscribe to us.
Probably is.
You go to the video and you comment your favorite Rattrap moment. There's already a few comments there, so keep that in mind. But yeah, you'll be in a chance for the drawing, and very easy, very simple to do. We will end all entries on midnight of next Wednesday. So what would that be? The 22nd, like at the stroke of midnight Eastern Standard Time. So you got a week. Got a week to do it. We want to make sure our audio listeners have a opportunity. Those who listen to it on like iTunes and stuff like that have an opportunity to go over there and give us a subscribe and give us a comment. So
Hell yeah!
and whenever we do the drawing, I guess we'll reach out to whoever on YouTube. I don't know if you can do messaging on YouTube, but whoever you are, you'll have to email us to get us your shipping information. So keep that in mind.
Or just tune in on next Wednesday to find out.
I mean,
Well,
it's
yeah,
not
but
gonna
I'm
put the
talking like-
shipping information in the chat, Dalton.
Whoever does win.
Or just message the Facebook page, whatever.
Yeah, message the Facebook page or email us, whatever's easiest for whoever wins.
Look, whoever
There'll be
wins
plenty
it,
of
they're
ways.
going to be messaging you for like, "Hey, where's my free toy at?"
That's true, but I wanted to give them a means because I know not everybody does Facebook, but everybody does email. Everybody does email. So it's good to have that option out there. So yeah, do that. Enter to win. It's a pretty sweet little figure, man. I was messing with it. Gonna break Tyler's before I send it to him.
There you go.
It's like a
Last night.
tradition. It's a tradition. He has to break all
just-
my stuff before he sends it to me.
You ought to
He
just
did
go
the
ahead
same
and let
thing
me.
with Rodri, and didn't even tell Rodri beforehand.
You ought to go ahead and let me just clip the second peg off of that gun and super glue it together and start.
Should have seen what he did to my double punch.
Oh, ooh.
I set it on the ground and I started to step on it real slowly. Tried to put the full weight of my foot on it.
No, he
Trying
had
to get that
fucking
meat out of the claw.
Yeah, he had fucking mud bugs the same night and mistook it
Trying
for a
to
real
get
one.
that meat out of the claw.
He
Bro,
broke
you
that
are
shit
not
off
wrong.
and slurped it right up.
Where'd the butter?
Yep. There was no screw. There's absolutely no screw.
After you were
Sam
done with
Mead said favorite Rattrap moment when he was reviewed by Dakota. Jesus. TM2DB says the IDW fans are on Twitter. Shudder.
Man, that loud convoy picture that we posted on the Facebook page was.
We should have put that on Twitter. We absolutely
God.
should have put that on Twitter.
That's funny shit.
That would have put us on the Twitter map for sure. Sexy Lyle convoy. But it is what it is. All right, we got a topic tonight.
You think if we put that loud convoy on Twitter and someone complained, would that someone delete or deactivate their account and someone else would just pick it up real quick?
Depending on who it is, like I would be pretty tempted to be the one that picks up the account.
Hell yeah. That's a callback. If you know, you know.
That's a what?
That's a callback. If you know, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, that's what I like to call a pro move. But
I call it a dick move, but okay.
That's me. All right, so our topic tonight: what do you think the odds of Hasbro or Takara reissuing some of the various GPS-prone figures, such as like Random, Grimlock, G2 Slingshot? I guess you can consider Black Zarak one of those.
Electro.
would you be open to buying some of these older molds with the guarantee that they will never break on you? What effect would this have on the value of unbroken vintage figures? So I guess we'll tack this in increments. What are the odds of them releasing these figures, Dalton?
I kind of find it unlikely due to just how obscure they are. I mean, they're trying to go with just the rehash the popular shit move. So I don't think it's highly unlikely at this point. Though we did get a slingshot for Combiner Wars, so
yeah, but it wasn't the original, you know.
That's fair. Yeah.
Mike, what about you, man?
I think I could see it happening since Hasbro has been doing a lot of reissuing different items, older items, not necessarily being chrome, or G2s. When you look back on what are you giggling about?
Who's giggling?
Dalton was giggling like a little schoolgirl.
Oh, was it?
But anyway,
don't laugh at me.
But it's kind of like
I already don't.
They do the reissues like Soundwave and Astro Train, and they're even tackling G.I. Joe through Walmart as well. So I can kind of see them maybe throwing a couple that direction. Whether they'll be, Transmetal is a different story.
Well, gold plastic, but
right,
we're definitely talking about gold plastic.
Either or.
Yeah, well, I mean that's true too, man. Like chrome's a flaking too, So
yeah, but I mean, if that Jetfire is any indication, the Generations one, they haven't moved away from vac metal. They'll just do it again, and it'll still chip again. And
well, that's what's weird, dude. The 10th anniversary Rattrap, same red chrome, not chipping. It's. I wonder if they just go through like a different factory
process
for both of those for the vac metal.
It could have just been a fluke.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, Tyler, what about you, man? What do you think the odds of Hasbro or Takara reissuing GPS prone figures are?
I don't think it'll be because it's GPS prone. I feel like if they're to reissue it, it'll be like a big convoy situation where they want to really release something that's show accurate without putting out a masterpiece figure because they have a masterpiece figure coming up, or they want to include an accessory that was never previously included, like the Matrix Buster. Personally, I don't see us getting another Transmetal Megatron or a Randy or anything because there's no real demand for those figures to be encored again, especially because they're out of scale, and scale is really popular among the Transformers collectors. And
I disagree about the Randy, or I agree about the Randy thing, but I disagree about the Transmetal Megatron thing.
I would like it, but there's an alternative out there by Takara already, which is the purple one, which leads me to believe that there's no reason for them to try and go the gold plastic route.
Well, that alternative one is also like 2 to 3 times the cost. Like that's usually when you see the reissues coming, it's because something reached an exorbitant amount. But I mean, we'll get to the cost, I guess, later. But
yeah, I mean,
again,
I just don't think the Beast era stuff is outside of like your big convoy is still a convoy, it's still a prime, right? Mm-hmm. So like that kind of explains why he would get an encore, but. Aside from him, what else have we gotten as an encore? We've gotten the Beast Machines Optimus Primal, which is just kind of almost a prime, I guess. He's like a prime-like character.
I think that's as close as we're going to get to a masterpiece Beast Machines Primal.
Yeah, the blue big convoy. But otherwise, like I don't honestly, I just don't think it's likely. And especially not just because I don't think anyone in there is like, you know what? There was a lot of GPS from the Kenner days, and we should go and do these fucking 20, 30-year-old figures for the people that still collect them. And
well, they do it for 40, for 35-year-old figures now.
Well,
hey, there's a lot of
primes
out there. Like we should make another G1 prime.
If you're speaking objectively, the G1 market is a lot bigger than the Beast Wars market. That's why they went from Beast Wars back to like some G1 cars and trucks and bullshit. And your prime with the red and blue jammies and the fucking hello kids and fucking Sam no and whatever the fuck like
Sam no.
It's just like whatever iconic thing you remember from Prime. Like I don't know, he's always hanging out with children for some reason, and they all don't have their dad around, and it's enough for me. But like that's the demographic, so it makes sense for them to redo that generation because that generation still don't have parents that love them.
Yeah, Neverland Ranch at Autobot City. I understand it. Candace, what do you think the odds of them reissuing some of these are?
I gotta be honest. I don't know how much I can really offer to this topic because I wasn't really following any of this stuff until I joined you guys, and I don't know that I can speak from experience any toys with the GPS issue. I wasn't playing with them enough to break or
reissuing,
whatever. Or
yeah.
Marks.
I was gonna say just like reissuing them in general, though. Like, the last time that they really did anything was for Beast Wars 10th anniversary, and I don't think there was anything like GPS prone that was re-released. The only thing that was like a flake prone figure, which was Rattrap. But I don't know if it was because it was a flake prone figure or if it was just because like, oh, Rattrap was a popular show character. So.
I don't know that they would go to the trouble, so to speak, of reissuing.
That's fair. I'm kind of in the same boat. I think it's very unlikely that they will re-release anything that's like specifically GPS or even like chrome flaking proned. I think we're more likely to get a show character re-released.
The chrome, I would be. Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say if they can find the mold, but I honestly don't expect it to be anything that's outside of those 10th anniversary reissues. Like, I mean, we've seen them do it with the G1 reissues, and man, like they're not straying outside of Prime mini bots and a few of the car bots.
To be fair, there's 150
Astro
G1
Train
characters.
And that's true too, but like how many times have they reissued the Seekers? How many times have they reissued Blaster and Perceptor? 4 or 5 times, G1 Truck Father, that thing's been reissued 4 or 5 times. Like just going off of that track record, I don't think they'll go outside that bubble that they had for like the 10th anniversary stuff.
No, I agree.
So
I also think that I don't think that the GPS and the Chrome can be compared as a reason for reissue because with the Chrome it was such a widespread issue across the entire Transmetal and Transmetal 2 line. You rarely had a figure that was impervious to Chrome flaking, whereas GPS it was widespread for all the figures that had gold plastic, but there wasn't a lot of figures that had gold plastic. You had Grimlock and Randy. You had was Big Convoy technically gold plastic?
No, it's brown.
It's brown. Yeah, and then Megatron. Yeah, you only had a few select figures that had the gold plastic. The Mutant Soundwave, that's coming up in price for whatever reason. It's not even it's a good figure. It's one of the shitty Animorph rejects, but for some reason people are paying those prices. That's ridiculous.
Well, and that's another thing. To be fair, gold plastic syndrome doesn't mean just gold plastic. It's really just plastic with a swirl in it. If it's a plastic that has a swirl in it, it's prone to it. It's degrading. However, it just degrades the plastic quality. And I don't understand how it works. That's just how it works.
Doesn't bind well.
But I feel like if they ever did decide to, redo some figures because the quality wasn't up to par, it would be because the vac metal chrome plating wasn't up to par, and they'd want to redo that because of how widespread that issue was, and we'd see some of those figures get a reissue.
Yeah, Brother Kyle says his Transmetal Megs is still in tip-top condition, but that's the thing, dude. Just wait.
Transform it.
Eventually, yeah, go ahead and transform it, or just move a piece on it. You'll hear a squeak, and then you'll hear nothing because the piece fell off.
Mine never made it out of the box.
Ooh, smart.
I know.
It's very smart.
So I bought.
Oh wait, it didn't make it out of the box before breaking, or?
Oh no, I never took it out.
Oh okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, not taking it out is the cash money move right there for Transmetal Megatron.
It happened to be that way.
I bought a brand new Transmetal Megatron mint in box, and I opened it up, and like I was aware of gold plastic, but I was like, maybe it's just like your shitty versions, and like mine. I thought it was like a mileage may vary type deal, but it was later that I found out it was everything. But like I opened up the box, I took the figure out, I started transforming it, it crumbled in my hands, and I hit up the seller and I was like, dude, like this figure just crumbled in my hands, and he's like, oh, sorry, man, I'll give you a full refund, and then he just gave me all my money back, and like I was
Wow.
like, all right, cool, thanks, man, but like that was definitely my fault because he sold me a mint in box figure. I was the one that opened it. He's just super cool, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I would not have refunded you if it were me.
You fucking dummy.
Real quick, brother Kyle, I just sent you a video that may have you feeling different about checking that out later. So okay, would you guys be open to buying some of these older figures with the guarantee that they will never break? And I want to touch on that guarantee thing, but would you just be open to buying basically brand new versions of GPS figures? Dalton.
Sure.
Mike?
Yes.
Tyler?
Affirmative.
Candace?
Hell no. No, yes, I would.
Okay.
I
was about to,
Beast Wars.
I was about to be like, yo, me too, because I wouldn't be open to buying them.
Why?
Because there is no guarantee. And the 10th anniversary Dinobot is proof of that. If you look at that thing the wrong way, it shatters and
crumbles.
Yeah, all the plastics on it. I think everything but like the plastics for the torso and the legs are extremely brittle on that release. And it's, what is it? 11, 12 years old now? Or I guess 14 years old now.
Yeah, 14.
And it didn't have those issues when it came out, but now they definitely do. I have two of them, one that has not been transformed and one that I got to robot mode and had to glue pieces back onto.
Is it the one that was in the cup at Robocon?
No, the one that I got, oddly enough, the one that I got at Robocon was the one that Brian Savage had in his office. It may have been in a box in his office, but it was still like, I was like, what's Savage doing with? Anyways, the one that I actually transformed, I bought. It was new in box. The only thing that had been removed from the box was the transmutate piece. But that thing did not survive a transformation. One slow, comfortable transfer, it just didn't. So no, man, I don't think I would be opt to buy one just because I think it's going to be inevitable unless they for sure change that plastic mixture to not have the swirl. But I don't know, man. They would definitely have to not use the same plastic colors. But at that point, it's a variant, and I'll buy all variants. So,
I mean, so far my Generations Goldfire has lasted. So,
yeah, well, that's Generations. It came out like 6 years ago, didn't it?
Yeah, so I guess we'll find out in 5 years.
Useless G1 garbage figure made it, but the rest of our beloved Beast Wars figures didn't.
I'm just saying that's the most recent old plastic figure I have. Don't need to jump on my case.
I question your financial decisions sometimes.
Just imagine now he's gonna go crazy with all that money he got.
TMTDB says that says my Transmetal Megatron is fine. Then again, I haven't moved him in 15 years. That's again, that's the cash money move to make.
So you do touch it and it'll
I'm just
crumble.
going to transform it. I'm not going to use it as a gravity experiment.
I sent him the video that Joe sent us.
Oh no! I thought you were going to send
I
him the Randy video.
No, I sent him the video that Joe sent us.
Oh man!
Dude, if it can't survive the drop test, is it really worth getting up? Picking up? I don't know.
Just send him that Randy video of someone squeezing it until it crumbles.
Oh my god! Just shards and nonsense.
Or just you opening your Randy up here on the show.
This is a formal warning, Brother Kyle. You're welcome to do what you want. It's your money, but I suggest you do not transform that thing, for you will have it crumble and fall between your fingers like the dust
It'll
of your dead truck father.
It'll 100% break. It will 100% break. Unless you have the Takara version, yours will 100% break.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
What effect do you think?
Toad of them.
If they re-release, because like even the regular Transmetal Megatron in unbroken condition is getting up there in price, like just because there's not a whole lot out there anymore that are unbroken. So what do you
I don't
like?
think it's because it's Megatron. I think it's because of the condition of the figure.
Yes, it's absolutely because of the condition of the figure. But if they re-release these things, what do you think? How bad do you think it would affect the value?
Who's aggressively scrolling?
Someone over there is making their own fucking ice cream, just pounding away at something. What are you doing?
Probably Candace, Skull, and other animals making noises over there.
It was not me this time.
Sure.
That just sounded like someone was aggressively scrolling on a computer.
Probably Dakota. He's always scrolling through shit.
Oh!
Dang.
Wow!
He caught me red-handed. I wonder if that's the lawn.
Hey,
I wonder if that's
over there.
the lawnmower you guys can hear in the back.
Aggression.
No, it sounds like straight up.
You can find it everywhere at Crushed Ice. Then that's Mike, because Mike's got a little roller on his mouse pad like a boomer.
Oh my god.
I can't be caught clicking the thing and dragging the bar down when I got this perfect good rolly wheel.
No, my little wheel doesn't make noises like I'm doing it right now. See? No noise.
Oh my god.
Well, we can
Mike, you know what though? I bet you I can trust Mike doesn't have one of those stupid anime mouse pads with the boobs for your wrist. Why are you laughing, doll? Nice.
I feel personally attacked myself.
Dakota's like 100% more likely than me.
Yeah, it's for true, dude. Don't hate the anime boobs. Don't hate on the anime boobs. So
what the hell?
Seriously,
okay, what is that?
Who is roofing?
Yeah, what is that? What is that? That's Tyler, bro. Fucking this motherfucker, whoever smelt it, dealt it. That's fucking Tyler.
I'm sitting on the couch in my underwear. I'm not on a roof anywhere.
Oh.
What do you think? Yeah, okay. The thing.
I'm in my quarantine jammies.
Quarantine jammies. What do you think them reissuing would have an effect on the value of the vintage if they did do it, Dalton?
It might, but I don't think so because it's still just that original figure in that condition, like we were speaking about earlier. Like you're paying for the condition of the figure instead of just the character. Well,
okay, so if they like say, well, I mean, then it would. Then I think it would affect the value of the vintage. Like if it was Megatron, they come out with a new Transmetal Megatron. Well, no one's gonna get anything for the one that's like 99% positive for sure gonna break.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this. Did the reissue of Blue Big Convoy affect the lucky draw?
No, because it's a variant.
Well, before Dalton jumped in and answered that like a fool, that's the thing. Like, dude, that really is an apples to oranges comparison because that's a lucky draw. I know that for me personally, it took the lucky draw off of my radar. While I would still pay over $1,000 for it, I would not pay the asking price at that time for it. I just wouldn't do it because I mean it's still a lucky draw. I think a better question to ask would be, did the recent Walmart Hot Rod reissue bring the price down of the original G1 Hot Rod? That I don't keep up with those prices.
Well, Mike, you're old as dust. Did it do anything to that price? I don't even know what a hot rod is, so.
He's a murderer. He killed Optimus Prime.
Kingslayer.
He killed my truck father. Well, Fort Max. I think that's probably the prime example. Reissue Fort Max came out. All the originals plummeted.
Yep.
That's at least a mass released figure. It's not like a lucky draw.
Man, that guy who sold it just before that announcement must have been laughing all the way to the bank.
Mm-hmm. I bet he was not taking refunds. I'll tell you that.
Oh, 100%.
But then there's like, I don't know, dude. God, I just had it too. Like, as far as like value affecting. Oh shit, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't know. So Mike, do you think like if they reissued some of these extremely prone to breaking figures that it would affect the secondary market
Absolutely.
in a negative or a positive way?
In a negative, I mean, why would someone want to pay top dollar for something that, like you said, is going to crumble? I mean, you said it perfectly. I was in the market to buy a G1 Fort Max until I heard the Encore being released. Well, I halted my brakes right then and there, and I waited, and I got the reissue.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me personally, yeah, I'll buy a reissue before I buy vintage nowadays, because 9 times out of 10, unless you're at a convention, you don't know what you're buying online. You don't know what kind of condition it really is in.
That's a good point too. But I mean, there's crazies out there that definitely want the vintage release. I'm lumping myself into that crazies bracket because like I want the vintage figure, but I'm also not against picking up a reissue. So Tyler, what about you, man? You think it'll affect the aftermarket price?
I hope so. Look,
Candace, what about you?
hang on, I'm not done. I'm one of those few people. I'm one of those few like I want a reissue of the fucking BotCon Fractal and Pack Rat, so the fucking group that's selling it for what, $1,000 or $1,500 has a fucking piece of shit grin on his face when he has to sell that shit for $25 because it's going for $25 at Walmart now. Like, you're gonna hold it above everyone else's head. No, pay me top dollar. No, wait, Takara, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh,
I want to watch the blood drain from their face as their fucking stupid little nerd ass panics because all the money that they just spent and to collect. Imagine spending $1,000 to buy that to try and flip it for $1,500, and then a reissue comes out and it's $25 at Walmart, and no one wants your stupid fucking piece of shit ass.
TM2DB said, "Woof, salty boy over here."
You goddamn right.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, it comes down to value, and there's no way that those figures objectively should cost that much. It's just supply and demand, and people are dumb for paying those prices.
So I think I paid $300 for my set, and I'm not in the market to flip it. Even if someone slapped $1,500 down right in front of me and said, "Give me," I would tell them no, absolutely not.
You'd be like, "No, what are you talking about first?"
But at the same time, I don't want them to reissue those. I think it affects the value, even though I plan on doing nothing with that value. It's a weird fucking situation I'm in. I have a very strange feelings about that. So I don't know, but I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. I know if I didn't have them, I would be like, "Yeah, reissue these, please." But
it's not even it's just a shitty practice it's like scalping. When you buy a whole wave of something that you know is not going to come out again, so you can sell it for double or triple or quadruple the price. Bullshit it ain't.
It's not at all like scalping.
Bullshit it ain't. You know who the fucking heroes are? The guys that bought the 5 or 6 or 8 fucking BotCon Sandstorm, or not Sandstorm, Double Punch and Barbarian, and sold them for $100 a pop or $150 a pop to collectors that actually wanted them. Those are the heroes. Could have sold them for fucking shitty BBTS prices at $450 for the pair, but no, these fucking gentlemen.
That was still, hang on, that was still a solid price for that pair. And it speaks to that because they sold out within a day. They had at least 8 of them. They sold out within a day. Those two were, I paid $300 a piece for both of them. And I was like, man, good on anyone who can get them for $450,
Well, the guy who sold you yours was not a hero. The guy who did this for me was. And I'm sorry that you had to break it for me.
Jesus, wow. What's with you fucking, it's you and my buddy Matt. My buddy Matt's the same way. He's like, "You broke my hard copies." And I'm like, "No, I didn't." But I don't again, I'm not at all upset that I paid $150 extra where 8 people paid less than that. It's just like that's just the game. Like sucks to suck, nerd. You paid the late tax. Like deal with it or don't.
Well, if that's the mentality, and that's the way that it is, then when these things do get reissued, don't fucking bellyache. Sucks to suck, nerd. That's the late sale.
That's the thing. I don't think I would bellyache. But again, I'm in that bracket where I would still pick up the reissue. But I also don't think that them reissuing it would affect the price of the original. There's more that's going to come with that original. First of all, the way it was presented, the presentation, the box, the insert, the comic, that shit's not going to come with a reissue. There's no way it's going to come with a reissue. They'll probably be carded on their own, which at that point would make me want to, I think I would want those more because they would be individually carded. But I would still at least hold value in the original set. I think I finally remember what I was going to say earlier. A G1 Optimus Prime, because it's the best example, with the original box and insert and all that shit from the 80s, is worth hand over fist more than any of the reissues. Any of them. Yeah. A lot of it comes down, obviously to mold differences over the years, and it just, but again, it all really and truly ultimately comes down to the way they're packaged. And I just don't think that, personally, I don't think if they were to reissue some of the stuff, I don't think it would really affect the aftermarket value. And obviously it depends, right? If you have a minty sealed Transmetal Megatron, it's not and they reissue it, it's going to be reissued in a different box. 90% positive on that, just basing off of the 10th anniversaries and then even the more recent G1 issues. If not a different box, an insert, whatever. Where I still don't think it'll affect that one, but it will 100% affect any open specimens. And I think that's where it would get into it. But I think overall, no, not with a broad brushstroke like that. So TM2DB raises a very awesome point. If you enjoy it any less more, do you enjoy it any less more if you pay more or less? And I guess it just depends on what it is. I definitely put up or shut up for that green Ramulus, and if they talk about a reissue out that's only going to cost whatever $30, I'm not going to enjoy the one that I spent a buku of money on any less, because mine's a fucking original. It's the one. And I think the same would be said for Fractal and Pack Rat. I would still 100% enjoy my originals just because I know that they are the vintage originals. Yeah.
I mean, look, don't take me too seriously. I'm just shit staining my nighty whiteys for dramatic effect. But honestly, when it comes down to it, to me, those figures will never be worth that price. And if they get reissued, I'll definitely buy them because they look cool. But it's not something it's not something I'm pining after. I'm not hoping that they get reissued because I want to fuck the people that are selling them at a high price, or I don't think, you know what I mean? More
Tyler, if they get reissued, I'm gonna come to Canada. I'm gonna go to your area, and I'm just gonna swipe all the Walmarts clean.
Well, at least then you'd make it to TFCon.
I still probably wouldn't go.
I know you probably wouldn't. That's okay.
I just come to your house and I'd be like, hey, dude, look, I got all the reissue Fractal and Pack Rats. They're out in the rental car. $1,000 for a pair is what I'll sell them to you for. I'm just a swell friend. All right. Candace, what about you? Do you think it would have any effect on the value of unbroken vintage figures?
Candace, repeat after me. I don't give
a shit.
Woo! Wow. I didn't know she cussed.
I love how she said it like it was one of those comic, the big comic pows. Shit,
Pow. First, Tyler, I thought you were gonna tell her to say I don't give a fuck, and then if she would have said fuck, I'd be like, oh, you're going to hell.
Yeah, I don't think I would say that, but
Fudge.
fudge. Do I think it would have an effect on the vintage? I don't know. I don't know. If it would, maybe a little bit, maybe only on the loose ones. Like you said, Dakota, like the original, the vintages in their boxes and mint and blah 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 might go up more or whatever. Or... For me, I don't really care. I've got mine that I've had for Beast Wars had for forever now, and I'm not searching too much for those. So, I don't know that it would really have an effect though on the originals.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't
tricky...
know. It's Beast War. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't think they have the
Beast
same
Wars.
value as the G1 stuff. You know what I mean? It's more sentimental for me.
Yeah, that's understandable. Ghost War Peter says, I don't think it'll affect the value of the original figures. The original and the new will be their own market. It's like the original Primal and Megs and the 10th anniversary. People sell them on eBay as either original or 10th anniversary and price them as such, the original usually being way higher. So it's been a long time since I've looked up the values of those figures, but for the longest time, the 10th anniversary Primal and Megs, like even opened, were going for more than the originals.
No more.
But it's also because they had different decos and different molding. But I think just a straight up reissue, same plastics and paints and all that, is definitely a different story. But stuff like the 10th anniversary, where it is different plastic colors and different paint apps and things like that. At that point, like, yes, there is an individual market for each. Like if they reissued Scorponok and they did it in show colors with a lighter gray, and some different paint apps and things like that, I think that would be a way different ball game. So I don't know. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to this, or we about ready to get on out of here?
I don't really think that's this, but I got word from Oscar Alonso that my piece is done. And he showed me an update, and man, this thing looks fantastic. I can't wait to post it to the Facebook page.
Did you say pizza?
Yes, Mike, I said pizza.
Oh, okay, I want to see.
You gotta
Mike.
change the frequency in your hearing aids.
Huh?
Mike, did you ever eat the pizza on the Corral buffet? Did you ever get into any?
No, I didn't touch that with 10-foot pole.
Okay.
But
But you touch
the cheese out of the can, I was all over that.
Ugh.
Touch the chocolate fountain that the kids stick their fingers in.
No, I don't do that.
Ugh.
Give me
Everything
some
on that
eggs
buffet.
and hash browns covered in cheese, biscuits and gravy, sausage.
You're ridiculous. You're absolutely
No,
ridiculous.
actually, I might actually have something to add to this topic. If it's not too late.
Well,
Do
let's
you
go
think
for it.
third-party offerings of these BotCon figures do anything to the value, or is that
Not at
strictly
all.
just
No.
treated as well? Why is a reissue different from a third-party offering?
Well, it's because it's official, and like at the end of the day, that's going to hold more weight and value than a third party option. Like it's just
that.
fact.
No. What I'm saying is, when you reissue something, it takes the original price down, like the secondary market price down, because the reissue's there. But why does a third party offering not do the same? Because you are getting a variant of that figure that is, in some ways, can be superior for cheaper than what you would be paying the aftermarket price of the original. Like, you know what I'm saying, right?
Again, yeah, and the answer is still the same, because that's a third party offering, because it is not the original mold, or it's not, it's not an official release. And a perfect example of that, yeah, official. The The perfect
Beast Wars.
example of that is Mastermind Creations reformatted Jaguar. I mean, because that was meant to be, Beast Wars Ravage, built into the robot mode, and X9 Ravage is still over $200 at the cheapest. Even though there is that third party option to get yourself a Beast Wars Ravage, it's obviously it's not 100% show accurate, but it wasn't meant to be. The original toy isn't either. But it didn't affect the X9 Ravage market at all. It's because it's third party. I mean, would anybody else disagree?
True enough.
No.
Third party trash.
I disagree. I disagree with that, but what do you do? All right. Well, it's been fun. Before you leave, check out some cool shows such as Shattercast Uncut, Enter the Realm, Toy Detox, Figga Bangin, Fears and Vultures 40K, Plastic Fanatics, Breaking the Mold, Nerd Rage Radio, Fresh Communications, Building Up to It, Verbally Challenged, and one of my favorites, Masterpiece Shitpiece Theater, and a few honorable mentions such as The Nerds Have Spoken, Total Package Podcast, Blackout and Shout, All Queued Up, Off the Runner, Cybercast, Galactic Gumbo, Dick Bird's Nest, and Around 30 Minutes with Matthew Deluxe Baldwin. And
Did anyone's life just flash before their eyes? I swear we were going in slow motion there for a second.
He's just trying to squeeze a few more seconds out of this.
It just
Oh
just
my
didn't.
goodness.
Yeah, caught you off guard. You were expecting it. You're expecting it to be too quick.
Well, I got a topic for next week, but we will
All
talk
right.
about that next week.
On Stasis Lock.